Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Layer, a poem by William Henry Davies, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like skies at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes begin. A poor life this if full of care we have no time to stand and stare. Rubaiyat, a poem by Allama Muhammad Iqbal, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. Faith is like Abraham at the stake. To be self-honoring and God-drunk is faith. Hear me, you whom this age's way so captivate. To have no faith is worse than slavery. Music of strange lands with Islam's fire blends, on which the nation's harmony depends. Empty of concord is the soul of Europe, whose civilization to no Makkah bends. Love's madness has departed. In the Muslim veins the blood runs thin. Ranks broken, hearts perplexed, prayers cold. No feeling deeper than the skin. A Tale of Two Cities, a poem by John Pater, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. In the storms of the shrills of arms, smoke, and the drills, all were scared, burnt, and afraid, powerless and helpless were they made. Woeful were all the hills, wasteful were all the grills, none to share their moans, none to lessen their groans. The flowers, flavors, all smashed, burnt, crushed, and all dashed, and all passed through the grind, leaving there nothing behind. No eye could look the explosion that took the lives of two glories in the moments of furies. All was done by a nation who in her wild passion cared for not the human rights nor saved them from deadly fights. But how much great were they who bore the pains of black day. Ashes are not merely the waste, they can really create the great. My neighbor friend breathing his last, a poem by Bulle Shah, translated into English by A.R. Luther, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. My neighbor friend breathing his last, what should I do, O God, aghast? He is to leave now, can't remain. Companions ready to catch the train. What should I do, O God, aghast? On every side decamping talk, at every place are shrieks in stock. What should I do, O God, aghast? Flare up flames in the heart to hide, for visible is not charming sight. What should I do, O God, aghast? Without his love, Bulla in loss can hardly dwell here or across. What should I do, O God, aghast? God's Attributes, a poem by Jalaluddin Rumi, translated by Dr. Nicholson into English, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. God calls himself seeing to the end that his eyes may scare you from sinning. God calls himself hearing to the end that you may close your lips against foul discourse. God calls himself knowing to the end that you may be afraid of him to plot an evil. These are not mere accidental names of God as a Negro may be called camphor. So are these names derived from God's attributes and not mere vain titles of the first cause. The Delight Song, a poem by N. Scott Momaday, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. I am a feather on the bright sky. I am the blue horse that runs in the plain. I am the fish that rolls shining in the water. I am the shadow that follows a child. I am the evening light, the luster of meadows. I am the eagle playing with the wind. I am a cluster of bright beads. I am the furthest star. I am the cold of the dawn. I am the roaring of the rain. I am the glitter on the crust of the snow. I am the long track of the moon in a lake. I am the flame of four colors. I am the whole dream of these things. You see, I am alive. I am alive. I stand in good relation to the earth. I stand in good relation to the Lord's. I stand in good relation to all that is beautiful. I stand in good relation to all that is fruitful. You see, I am alive. I am alive. He came to know himself. A poem by Sachal Sarmast. He came to know himself, not else had he in view. To be able to realize this, he got enmeshed in love. He alighted from high heaven to pour a cascade of love, became Mansoor to mount the gallows just to have his head cut off. He treaded the bazaars of Egypt just to be sold for a slave, such who speaks the bare truth, to speak of his sojourn on earth. A man of words and not of deeds. A poem by Charles Perrault, translated by Robert Samber, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. A man of words and not of deeds is like a garden full of weeds. And when the weeds begin to grow, it's like a garden full of snow. And when the snow begins to fall, it's like a bird upon the wall. And when the bird away does fly, it's like an eagle in the sky. And when the sky begins to roar, it's like a lion at the door. And when the door begins to crack, it's like a stick across your back. And when your back begins to smart, it's like a penknife in your heart. And when your heart begins to bleed, you are dead and dead and dead indeed. In Broken Images, a poem by Robert Graves, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. He is quick thinking in clear images. I am slow thinking in broken images. He becomes dull, trusting to his clear images. I become sharp, mistrusting my broken images. Trusting his images, he assumes their relevance. Mistrusting my images, I question their relevance. Assuming their relevance, he assumes the fact. Questioning their relevance, I question the fact. When the fact fails him, he questions his senses. When the fact fails me, I approve my senses. He continues quick and dull in his clear images. I continue slow and sharp in my broken images. He in a new confusion of his understanding, I in a new understanding of my confusion. Love and Essence of All Religions, a poem by Jalaluddin Rumi, translated into English by Dr. Nicholson, read by Muhammad Afzal for first year students. Through love's thorns become roses, and through love vinegar becomes sweet wine. Through love the stake becomes a throne. Through love misfortune becomes good fortune. Through love burning fire becomes pleasing light. Through love stone becomes soft as butter. Through love grief becomes a joy. Through love lion becomes harmless. Through love sickness becomes health. Through love wrath seems to be a mercy. Through love the dead rise to life. Through love the king becomes a slave.